It's now or never. No.
Whatever you're talking about.
You're like, you snuck that one in on me. Let's go.
I'm like, I pressed record. Okay, we're talking about social proof. What is it? Why does it matter? And I love social proof, and I think we all love it too. So when it comes to making a purchase, is your decision influenced by what others are saying about it? Today, we're going to talk about social proof. You may not have heard of that term, but I guarantee you it's something that we trust and rely on. So we're going to explain why this is such a powerful marketing strategy and really all the ways that you can generate some leads from it. So let's get going, shall we?
All right, welcome to Marketing and a Mic. We are here to give you a variety of digital marketing topics, tips, guides. Really, we're here to help you and your business. So, like Sarah mentioned, social proof. Believe it or not, and I'm sure you do believe this, psychology plays a huge role in marketing and how we buy things, our buying behaviors. I mean, think about this. We trust online reviews because we're thinking, okay, that person's already used it. Right. So they must know what they're talking about. And we also trust endorsements because it's backed by added assurance.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also this thing of like, hey, if our friend recommends it, we trust their approval because they're kind of a reliable source. So you get the idea of like where that social proof comes into play. So it's really the social response that shoppers have when someone else is sort of validating that product or service. So if they say that it's good and it's a trusted source, then we often trust it. And I'm using a new camera and I may look like a fool, but I'm really working on the eye contact.
I think you're doing good.
I'm the worst at it. I don't know. I'm working really hard, I promise.
Well, between me moving around, they won't pay attention. You're good. You're good to go over there. So think about this. I mean, when's the last time you bought anything without reading a review?
Never.
Or I don't think when was the last time. You're right. There wasn't the last time. So you got to think, if shoppers don't trust you and trust your business, you're going to have a difficult time generating leads, let alone sales. I mean, that's just, the harsh reality. Right. So if you visit online stores a lot, like I do, I mean, I think Amazon comes here every day or feels like it. Odds are that you browsed around for a while and then subconsciously looked for a reason to bite the bullet and make a purchase. And what better reason than to say, oh, look at all the great reviews this product got.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the good news is that there's plenty of ways to convince like first-time buyers that you want them to become customers. And these sort of actions can encourage existing customers to sort of become repeat business or just validate their buying decision. So we're going to dive into all the social proof strategies that are available to you at your fingertips so that you can spark new revenue opportunities. So
yes. And one of the main things, we preach this all the time, is gather more online reviews. I mean, it's hard, and I'm not going to be lying to you. It's a pain in the butt, but it's one of the number one thing. And that's why we have a number one. If you had to choose just even one thing that we're going to go over, you've got to do this. Reviews, without a doubt, are one of the most powerful ways to get trust with your audience and get more sales. I mean, if you're looking at two different companies and one has no reviews, but the other one has like 200, it's kind of a no-brainer. So you just don't need much proof to even understand this. And I think most people do. So we don't buy things that have even without a single review on it.
Yeah. And it's kind of like always that thing of like, think of yourself as a buyer. If you're doing that, like if you're doing that behavior, if you're looking at online reviews and then you kind of bounce over to your own business and you're like, well, I don't have any of that. Well, then it's like, okay, well, if I'm doing that as a shopper, I need to have that to my other customers. So here's the thing. When you start racking up reviews, you rack up credibility, and having the right kind of review generating strategies can help you stack the deck in your favor and promote more positive reviews. So first off, bottom line, build your presence by creating a Google business profile, just like reviews. We've talked about this like all the time. So this really is a good starting point, and then getting yourself on other online directories, and all of those provide options for customers to leave reviews. So get that started.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a pain in the rear end. I mean, it just is. You have a few other things going on. I get it.
Yeah.
We get it. You get it. So, I mean, you've really got to help them generate, find easy ways to help your customer leave reviews. We recommend, of course, a review type system, because a system is going to give people multiple ways to gather reviews or leave online reviews. They're going to just make it so much easier for the customer. And like our review system, our online review system can use our existing database of customers, and it just provides additional ways to reach new customers too. So it has everything all in one place.
Yeah, it makes it seamless, which is that's the general idea. So additionally, you want to plaster those reviews everywhere. So, you may have some that are on Google reviews, which is great for people that are searching, but give it some more life. Go make sure that you add that mileage by adding it to more places so more people can see it. So one way is to add reviews to your homepage, on your website homepage. This gives that added assurance when somebody lands on your website, they can look at all these nice, wonderful reviews about you.
Yeah. If you have a WordPress website, there's an actual plugin that you can use to put on your WordPress website that's going to bring in automatically reviews from Google. So it's real easy to do. So if you have a WordPress, take a look at that, because moreover, it can influence decision making and make customers feel more ease about using you. I mean, it's right there in front of their face. You want to have it every place they find you. They want to look at your reviews. You could even create video testimonials, which I know we've started a project doing this. It's not that difficult once you get going. So we can give you tips on that. Use those on your website, your social media posts, and you could even put them in an email campaign. The big thing is, if you go to all this trouble to get these reviews, like Sarah mentioned, plaster them everywhere, repurpose them through social media and just everywhere else that you have the opportunity.
Yes. Yeah. It's a one of the really, it's like kind of the shining star of like, just if you're going to do anything, do this. So let's move on to number 2. So we've got 5 that we're going to talk about today. So number 2 is user generated content. And it could be UGC for short.
The old UGC.
The old UGC. So we're so cool.
No, I know. It's just unreal.
I know. We're like, reek it, don't we?
Yeah.
The coolest factor. So user generated content really is another time-tested strategy on social media. Any type of content that's made by a customer that mentions or promotes your business or your brand is UGC. So, for example, someone gets their order delivered and the shares the photo on Instagram of, look what I got, blah, blah, blah. And they mention your business. There you go. Bam. That's user generated content. Such a great form of social proof.
Yes. And you're already on social media anyway. So that's one of the best places to cultivate the old UGC. Well, it would be wonderful if customers, naturally did this and promoted your brand right and left. It's just not always the case. So you need to be creating some sort of campaign that can bolster customer participation and even encourage them to share this positive content about your brand and your products and services.
Yeah. So that's the key. Sometimes you got to get that little nudge out there. So, so think about creating like certain giveaways or incentives around your campaign. For example, you could start like a user generated content with like, say, a lipstick color. And it could say something like, got your favorite lipstick color? Well, you could win $200 in new products. All you need to do is post a photo of you wearing your favorite lipstick from our brand, from our collection, and tag it with some sort of customized hashtag that's specific to that campaign. So, who doesn't like taking pictures of themselves?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I mean,
yeah. And so you just, that's an idea. If somebody's like, hey, I got this. And then, oh, if I get selected, I can win $200 in products that I already love. Well, bam.
yeah, and it's fun. I
It's
mean,
fun.
it's really fun. So, and while you're doing that, though, you kind of want to give and take. So you want to make sure that you're also sharing some of the user social media posts on your own page and commenting on it as well. So this not only generates more momentum for your campaign, but also gives your customers an additional shout out. And when you
Yeah.
do that, it's like givers gain. We always talk about that. You give a little, they're going to give a little. It's kind of, I mean, that's kind of a known thing on social media. I feel like if you help somebody out, they feel like they can help you out
Yeah,
normally. Normally.
absolutely. It's like you're mentioning them. You're also kind of getting a little bit more circulation of your own brand. It's all good. So
Yeah.
let's bounce to number 3 here, which is use case studies to highlight results. I mean, this is another kind of old goody or old reliable.
Yeah.
So case studies, in case you've been living under our rock, these is another example of social proof, and it's extremely effective. Well, why? They provide actual data and facts to back up your claims. So they are coming from actual customers who actually had real obtained results by using you. It can build credibility with customers who have really never heard of your business, but they're sort of snooping and checking you out. And they can kind of see, hey, I've worked with other similar clients or similar situations, and they saw results. So it can speak
Yes.
volumes.
Yes, it's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Well, if you're like, oh, yeah, I have that same problem, or
Yeah.
oh, that sounds, when people can relate to something, they're more likely to really dive in and become attached to it. So you can
Absolutely.
use these case studies. I mean, once you have them set up, again, like Sarah says about everything, plaster it everywhere. You can use them in multiple ways as social proof, which is what we're talking about.
Mhm.
You can use them in email campaign to prospects, put them on your website, post them in social media, create a cool infographic, and then put a direct link to the case study on your website. Again, we're moving people around, getting them to the website. The only little caveat is I would make sure if you're going to use the company name and data, just make sure you have your client's permission before you do that. Or you could do it incognito and you don't have to put their name out there, but get the
Right.
permission.
Right. Like as an example, if you don't want to use the actual client name, company name, you could do something like actual client since 2015 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And kind of circulate it around that way. So, all right, let's jump to number 4. Wisdom of the crowd. I love this one. So, wisdom of the crowd is an old term referring to everyone's doing it. So this is sort of a marketing concept that works for online businesses by highlighting the volumes that you have. So it could be like the volumes of subscribers or followers or volume of clients that you've helped or customers served or whatever it is. So people are naturally kind of want to be included in groups and things that are widely accepted by many. And
Yes.
it's really true when you sit there and it's like, oh, we've had 10,000, blah, blah, blah. You're like, well, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Think about it. You see a large group of people using and loving a product or service you want to be a part of. You don't want to be left out, or I think we call FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. It's a real thing, and you can really create it. Yeah, pretty easily. So highlight your high volume accomplishments on your website and product pages so that people feel like, oh, I need to be part of that. You can make this highlight on social media, again, through email campaigns, and even to targeted prospects that will, that it will trigger that in them, that they don't want to miss out. So you kind of know who those people are.
Yeah, and you see it on websites more often than not, where you've got like those little circle bubbles, and it'll say something of like, X amount of, I say customer serves or whatever the product sold or whatever it is, and it's just like another way of giving that social proof of, hey, this is something I want to be a part of. And we all have that where we're like, we don't do it, and then we see somebody else doing it, we're like, dang it, I missed it.
And one of the biggest ones that I've seen, well, and I should say, I was going to say lately, but it's been going on for a long time, is I don't know if you've ever been on a website where you're shopping or looking around and all this stuff keeps popping up that so-and-so from North Dakota just bought this dress. So-and-so from Minnesota just bought these shoes. So talk about taking that social proof to the next level. It's like, or they may pop up and say, there's only 3 left, or there's only 2 left. It's like, oh my God, I gotta buy.
That is so true. That's such a good example. It creates that sense of urgency. And yeah, when it keeps popping up at the bottom, I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And then you're like, well, what did they buy?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Okay, let's go to number 5 and the final one, which is show awards, certifications, and achievements. This is huge. And this is huge, particularly in certain industries where those types of achievements or certifications really do give you like a higher value because it's maybe not as easy to obtain or whatever it is. So this is a form of social proof that builds around the recognition from well-trusted or highly recognized outlets. So if you're running a business and you're good at what you do, chances are that you've acquired a few certifications or accreditations along the way for that job well done. So flaunt it. I mean, flaunt it, put it out there. Say, I worked hard to get this and I'm going to show you.
Yes, and I think people hesitate to do that, but you shouldn't. Like you said, if you've earned it, I mean, proof's in the pudding, I guess. So, you've earned it. You should put it out there, because highlighting all these achievements on your website and other places are just a great way to acknowledge the credibility of your business. And again, credibility is everything. Some customers may even solely rely on a business achievements when they evaluate who they're going to buy from. I mean, if you have this website again over here who has all this great stuff and then your website has nothing, again, you've got to think you're going to be losing out. So it's a great way for customers to get a sense of awards you've earned, any certifications that you might have. That's a huge one if you're in certain industries. If you don't have certifications and licenses, and insurance, we do a lot of home service companies. If you don't have that stuff, you want to go
credibility.
Yeah. I mean, you want to make sure you're covered. So just highlight this kind of stuff on your website and social media and anywhere else that people can find it.
Yes, for sure. So there's different forms of this. So one could be endorsements. So this could be, again, in a form of like a social media endorsement. Well, what is that? That's sort of like an expert's approval. So a person of authority or somebody that's well recognized in your industry is another form of accreditation to use as social proof. It's sort of like when an industry expert comes around and they're like, hey, this is my stamp of approval. It's a really powerful way to give potential customers that added confidence that like your brand, it's legit. It's the real deal.
Yes, legit. You need to be legit. And even milestones. I mean, if you've been around a while and that really lends credibility. So it's an additional way to just showcase your progress as a company. If you share these milestones, it's kind of like showing how far you've come. But again, it's a way to celebrate achievements and show gratitude to customers that helped you achieve it as well. So milestones can come from anywhere. I mean, talk about anniversaries, followers, special occasions. But I think when I look and see, if a company's been in business 6 months versus 6 years, to me, I'm thinking the person who's been in business 6 years and, has all this stuff on their website, I would tend to lean that way if I'm going to, try to purchase something.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, they're doing something right. You know what I mean? Like if they keep coming along. So it really is a nice thing to showcase like where you started and how far you've grown. And it can give not only potential customers, but current customers, like this sense of confidence of like, they are using the right brand.
Yes.
So it also kind of shows your brand's like tenacity to drive and keep getting better of like, we're still here. We're churning. So I think it's a good.
We're still here. We've made it through whatever,
Yeah. And we've been through, it's like there have been whatevers, right?
We are still here, still going strong. So I hope that was a lot of great information, because that's pretty much it for us today. And of course, if you need any help creating your social proof strategy, or looking for more ways to, increase presence online or get more customers, our team would love to talk to you. We're always willing to help you brainstorm or just kind of see how we can help. So feel free to reach out to us.
Yes. And always don't forget to follow and subscribe us for more, because we're always are going live every other Friday on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And we also stream this on our podcast, which Marketing in a Mic, of course, and you can download that wherever you watch your favorite podcast. And I mean, I think we need to do a show just on podcasts of like good ones to listen to. I don't even know. That just came out of my mouth.
Write it down, because I know you listen to a lot of cool ones, especially for business. So that's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay. So till next time, we'll see you.